To the pandemic of the coronavirus origin from Wuhan, China in January 2020, the Chinese noticed that there were about 100 to 150 people who were dying who were actually having the flu-like symptoms, like chest infection, upper and lower respiratory tract infection, pneumonia, fever. And they tested the bronchial secretion from their lungs and larynx, and they found no virus in that secretions, but they found a genetic material from their secretions taken from their lungs, and they named that secretion as COVID-19. So far, not a single researcher have been able to identify the coronavirus itself. What they are testing is with the test which Chinese have introduced, RT-PCR, which America, UK, and rest of the Europe and the world is performing to check whether someone is COVID positive or not. They're very tricky statement when they give for somebody being COVID positive. They write the report as this person is test positive for COVID-19, but they never write the report like this person is coronavirus positive, which is very tricky business. They have been told to write this sort of report. And when the pathologists see the secretion taken from nose, pharynx, and larynx, and he identify the same picture of those secretions taken from the lung fluid, and they name it COVID-19, which they call so-called coronavirus, but actually it's not a coronavirus. This is actually a exosome of the damaged and destroyed cells as a result of stress, as the entire world is going through, as a result of chest infection, as a result of flu, even lung cancer. They find the same sort of material from the lung secretions, which is labeled as COVID-19 positive. Even in heart attack, when they check the secretion, they named it as positive test for COVID-19, which is very unfair to label somebody as a COVID-19 positive, and then there is special protocol for all these patients, especially the elderly one above 70 years of age. They isolate them, and they may go into mild to moderate symptoms. Believe me, 80 to 85% of the positive COVID-19 patient recovered without having gone into the critical situation. Only 5 to 10% they go into the critical situation when they go into ventilators, and they never come out of that. Before going to ventilators, they sign a consent form that they are not for resus, especially the elderly people, and they are never resuscitated, and they are left on the mercy of the ventilator, and after a few days they are declared as this patient was COVID-19 positive, which is very unfair. Every patient who is admitted in the COVID ward due to chest infection, flu, and pneumonia and respiratory problem is or heart problem or any other cancer problem is labeled as COVID-19 positive, which is increasing the number greater and greater all over the world. That's why the worldometer, which is a fake, a calculator. I don't know who is controlling this worldometer and who is sponsoring them, and I believe this is controlled by all the courts who are interested in creating this havoc so that they could change the entire economical system of the world. And also they want to create a vaccination for that, so everybody would have the vaccination, which will be electronically monitored through the computers and through the electronic tags, and it would be like quantum tattoos on their wrist or arm to declare it as positive. So that is going to happen in the near future, believe me or not. What impact the NHS has as a result of this coronavirus? Most of the hospitals are gone empty. All the elective work has been cancelled. There is no endoscopy, no cystoscopy, no colonoscopy, no flexible sigmoidoscopy, and no gastroscopy happening. All the elective lists of all sort of operations, including the bowel cancers and the lung cancers and all the invasive procedures have been cancelled. These patients are accumulating day by day and the number is rising up. And what's going to happen is, after some time, when these courts, these crooks behind the scene are able to achieve their target, they would then introduce a health system like in America, Canada and Australia with an insurance system. So everybody will have to pay for its treatment, which was free under the NHS before in UK, and everybody will pay for its expenses and everything will be privatized, and the hospital will only be running emergency services, and there'll be more workload at the private sector, and this is another way of making money out of that. So this is what we are experiencing in hospital nowadays. Only most of the hospital, about 75%, they are admitting the corona patients. They are actually not corona patients, but anybody who's having flu-like symptoms, chest infection, cough and fever is labeled as COVID positive, which is unfair and is, realistically speaking, it is not a justified management for the patients who are admitted, especially the other elderly patients and those who have been cancelled for their elective operation. How they're going to get it done, nobody knows. As I said, this is their plan, and they're going to implement the insurance system in NHS in near future. Thank you. I'll talk about the further impact of this later on.